In example 1 of section 11.4, we are going to discuss congruent figures. If you look at the definition of congruent figures are simply figures that can be mapped onto one another through a rigid motion or a composition of rigid motions. So when you think rigid motions, think things like translations, the things that we've talked about so far. Translations, what else we do? Reflections, and rotations. So a rigid motion would be either a translation, a reflection, or a rotation. So those are the rigid motions that we have studied. So now, identify any congruent figures in this coordinate plane and explain. Well, I don't know, let's start here. We've got a square, ABCD, and then another square, PQRN. Those are both squares that are 2 by 2. They're 2 on each side. Those would definitely appear to be congruent to one another. So we could say square CBDA, naming the vertices, is congruent to square QPRN. Boy, that's a nice job I did writing square there, isn't it? So QPRN. It looks like all we've done is maybe slide this 2 to the left and then down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it just looks like it's been translated. Okay. The next one, how about this triangle here, IHJ? It's 2 on this side and 2 on this side. Okay, no, this one is 2 and 3, so is this one. Here's the other one that's 2 and 2. Looks like IHJ is congruent to TSU. So triangle IHJ appears to be congruent to triangle TSU. And what rigid motion took place there? It appears like it was rotated all the way around to here. So H went around to S, I went around to T, and J went around to U. So that appears to have been a rotation of 180 degrees. I went clockwise, unfortunately. I really should have gone counterclockwise, but anyway. The last one is these two triangles both have a base of 3 and a height of 2 in each case. So we could say that triangle GFE is congruent to triangle MKL. And it appears that that was simply reflected in the x-axis. So those are congruent figures obtained by performing rigid motions.